The inside out? Join Tasha Young on Elevation Nation, your guide to total wellness and personal evolution. You are about to discover powerful strategies for healing across 7 essential dimensions: physical vitality, emotional balance, mental clarity, financial freedom, social connection, sexual wellness, and intellectual growth. This is more than self-help, it's self-elevation. Watch Elevation Nation with Tasha Young, exclusively on Black Westchester Magazine, the news from the Black point of view. Your journey to wholeness starts now.
Hello, hello, everyone. Welcome to Elevation Nation. Thank you so much for joining us. My name is Tasha Young, and I am the hostess. And I'm so pleased to be on Black Westchester's platforms. Big shout out to my brothers Damon K. Jones and AJ Woodson. Um, they will be joining us whenever they have a chance to come in, but we also respect their time. And I'm just so grateful to be here. It is Black History Month. We haven't forgotten. We are still celebrating and we are still recognizing excellence within the Black community. And on Elevation Nation, as you all know, we want to address different areas where we can increase our health and increase our impact. So we talk a lot about politics on this show. That's a part of our socialization, our social health. But we also are in a 28-day wellness journey with Damon's new book, The 28-Day Detox and Fasting. So we talk about how do we spend the first 20 minutes of our day? How are we addressing our physical health needs? How are we addressing our mental and emotional health needs? So, here on Elevation Nation, we will talk about those topics and we'll bring on people that are like minded, that are also, contributing to humanity in a way that represents health and wellness and social consciousness and intellectual pursuits, as well as how are we faring in relationship to one another. So tonight, as I said last week, we had a feature on how Donald Trump supporters are feeling about the undocumented. And we highlighted that undocumented people contribute not only to the culture and the fabric of our country here in America, but also to our economy. So we'll talk about that later. We'll show a video on that. But in addition, I also wanted to tell you about some people that I met out in movement. I was attending a exhibit on fashion at the Hudson River Museum, and Jonathan Alvarez of 914 United was featured. And in speaking to other activists and other change agents, I met two incredible people who are the co-founders of an organization called Camino al Éxito. So before I bring them on, I just want to read their bios. And the first
Are
bio,
you ready to transform your life from the inside out?
oh, wait 1 second. I never know how to do all this technology. So the first bio I'm going to read is from the co-founder. His name is Shannon Jackson. And Shannon, I met him, like I said, at the museum, and he is the proud co founder of Camino al Éxito, which is an organization built alongside his incredible wife, Inhinia Jackson. Together, they are true entrepreneurs, running a consulting company rooted in their shared mission to be a guiding light for individuals seeking their own path to success. Their goal is to empower underrepresented families by providing essential resources, education, and opportunities that create a lasting positive impact on their lives and the communities they call home. After obtaining a master's in childhood education, Shannon taught in Mount Vernon for 10 years. He also taught at Mizentop, a small school that taught him invaluable lessons about community and alignment. His professional path eventually brought him into the field of mental health and substance abuse, where he now manages programs that help individuals on their journey to healing and self discovery. Through all of this, Inhinia and Shannon have remained devoted to Camino al Éxito. Together, they've created a space where families feel seen, heard, and supported. By breaking down language barriers and addressing the many challenges they face, they've built a community within Camino that uplifts everyone it touches. Their work is personal because they know what it's like to be in need. And everything they do is driven by their belief in the strength of family, the power of community, and the resilience that has defined their journey. Shanna's mission in life is simple, yet powerful, to ensure that every person has the tools, resources, and opportunities they need to thrive. Whether through his work in mental health or his role as co founder, or the many lessons he's gained along the way, he remains committed to being a beacon of hope, service, and empowerment for all. Next, I want to talk about his lovely wife, Inhinia. Okay. Inhinia Rosales Jackson immigrated to the United States at the age of 14. Knowing no English and stepping into a world of confusion and uncertainty, through sheer grit and determination, she earned her high school diploma in 2008 from Mount Vernon High School. Her unrelenting drive pushed her to graduate from Westchester Community College and then to earn her bachelor's degree and a master's degree in bilingual education with a concentration in special education. Now, an educator in the Bedford School District for over a decade, Inhinia's passion for uplifting others inspired her to co found Camino al Éxito, PFA, alongside husband Shannon. This nonprofit has transformed over 1,500 families in Northeast Dutchess County, fostering hope and empowerment. Inhinia's mission is clear: to ignite dreams, bridge gaps, and inspire others to rise through healing your mind, body, and soul. I'm so happy to have both of them join us. And let us give a warm welcome to Shannon and Inhinia. Ooh, Lord, technology. It's good when you know how to work it. Welcome to both of you. Welcome, welcome.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. It's a pleasure.
It is a pleasure as well. Thank you so much for having us.
It was so great meeting you guys at the museum, and I was inspired by your work. I think the synergy was there, and I loved reading your bios and just hearing how you incorporate the heart and the body and the mind and the soul in your work. So, whoever wants to go first, let's tell the audience about yourselves.
Okay, I can step in. So I'm originally from Beaufort, South Carolina. I now live in Pauling. I call Pauling my home. I live there with my two amazing sons and my phenomenal wife. Um, Pauling is where we do most of our work, but obviously we're moving up to the northeastern part of Dutchess County, where we're tapping into Wingdale, Dover, and Armenia, some other places as well. So yeah, my journey has been shaped by experience, by my experience, my roots, and my passion for helping others. We started Camino al Éxito just off a little peon, just a little dream. But after the dream, it became reality because we saw the real need in our community, especially amongst the underserved youth and the immigrant families. Too
Mhm.
many people struggle, with lack of legal support
Yeah.
and education gaps and lack of support. And we wanted to create something that truly makes a difference, and which was Camino. It was birthed by, like you said, the beacon of light. We saw those in the dark, and we went to go get them. So we gravitated to all those individuals that didn't believe in themselves, and we made a difference. This is just not just a program; it's our lives. It's a culture. It's a movement. We uplift, we empower, and we provide real opportunities for those in needs at the most time.
Hmm. Wow. Thank you. And Henia?
And now I would like to say a little bit about how Camino al Éxito was birthed, right? And through our healing journey. So
Mhm.
Shannon spoke a little bit about what we do, but we cannot do this work without doing the work for ourselves first. And Shannon and I enter our healing journey. I enter my healing journey first, and I discover that through unpacking all the trauma that I had, I discover that I'm light. And I discover that I am hope to those that are hopeless. And as Shannon and I, we are where we are now. And we were conversating one day, and I said, you know what? We we kind of turned out to be all right. Just because we had so many experiences, traumatic experiences in our life, that we could have chose another way, right?
Yeah.
Shannon doesn't even know his dad. I didn't grow up with a dad. And I
Hmm.
was destined to fail as a Latina woman immigrating to the US at 14 years old, not knowing English. I was destined to fail. But I broke walls, and I decided that I am going to be the light and the hope for those that are hopeless and in the dark. So as Shannon and I we're conversating and said, you know what? Let's form a project that we can give back to the community, because just like we turn out to be all right, we can be now the light to those young souls that are in the dark, and they can be the same way that we turn out to be, right? We both have education, a higher education. We also invested in a multifamily house. We have a
Hmm.
beautiful family. And as well, we enter our healing journey, which
Yeah.
means everything for us, because this is hard. Having a marriage, life is hard, keeping up with society, but we chose to take care of our mental health, and we could have done this alone. And that's the main reason as to why we are able now to provide for others and be the light for people that are in the dark, because we were able to unpack our own trauma. We went from therapy, we attended holistic retreats outside of the country and also in the country by a program called Forgive to Live, where you
Forgive
go
to live.
and you unpack all our trauma. So the work we're doing right now is soul work. It's something we discover. It's a mission that we discover through our own healing path. And we are now aligned. We are so aligned that we are working towards the same goal and the same theme, which is serving others.
You're gonna make me cry. You were gonna make me cry. I feel like this is what happened when we first met. I was like so, taken aback. And what does Caminos El Exitos mean? What does that mean? Is Damon, are you here?
By the
Okay, so
way, I love Damon. I
is
love
he
DK.
here?
Yes, I see him.
He's
I
here?
Yes, I
I
love him.
don't see him.
Yeah. Well, he put a message. Well, DK Jones. Yes, he joined us. Yeah,
He popped in. Okay, so he's gonna come in. So excellent.
I love
But
him. Yeah.
yeah, go ahead. Talk about how you love
So
Damon. That's my brother.
DK, so back when in Mount Vernon, back in my days, I had a little girlfriend, and
Miss Mary.
his mother married
Miss Mary.
he married Miss his her mother. So It was beautiful. So, but I know him from Mount Vernon, from the small town, and he's an amazing leader. He is such a leader, and I'm happy he's on this call. Thank you.
Powerful, powerful man. He set me up. He and we've been friends for a long time, and we did a show together. And he goes, "Come on my show and talk your ish." So he's responsible for this whole thing. So I love him to death. We have the same birthday, the same exact day.
Nice.
Yeah, but Camino al Éxito, what does it mean?
So it means the road to success. The road to success. We are the road to success. So just a mini story about the name. When Shannon and I first wrote the name down on paper, Shannon came out with the name and said the road to success. But then Project for All. But then I said, you know what? We need to have some Spanish in there because this is bilingual. This is where we're going, right? The next generation is all going to be bilingual. So we translate the first part of the name to Camino al Éxito, which means the road to success.
Okay. And I
And we
like when
are we
Mhm.
are the road to success. If you come to Camino al Éxito and you are looking for any type of resources, whether it's education, legal, or health, we have it or we will refer you to it. We are impacting right now over 1,500 families in 2024. And along with youth. And when you come to us, we are here to create access to resources. We are the access because you know what? We were the need ones. And now that we're no longer the need, we are able to be the bridge that connects the need with resources.
And that's what we need, right? We need the people who have the lived experience to be in the power and the leadership positions to be able to speak to that lived experience, and people that, are looking for hope, are looking to not be a statistic on the negative side. I love when you talked about, how we grew up. I grew up, my father was out of the house also. I lost both parents at the age of 7, one to death and one to prison. And I have the same story. I was supposed to be a statistic on the negative side, but God saw fit, and my family and my community saw fit that I would be a statistic on the positive side because the community poured into me. And it's mission based, it's purpose based. Like when you experience that, or when you've come from humble beginnings and you're able to, you want to make sure other people know that they can succeed also.
Receive. Thank you for sharing that. I
Receive.
was able to connect.
That was beautiful.
And when you say mission driven, it's mission work. Being in the working with the community and creating access to resources and providing resources is mission work. And if you haven't done the work, you will get real disappointed early in the journey. But the fact that we have done the work and
Yes.
there's no darkness out there that will turn us around because we have the tools to center ourselves and be the light in the darkest moment of anyone. And I tell you that we have invested. This doesn't come just like this. We
Right.
have invested a lot in our mental health.
That's right. That's right. I'm trying to show the comments here, because we do have comments from the audience. Um, okay, so here's Damon's. Let's see. Okay. Um, yeah, think even the way you speak in India when you say received like that, you guys are just dope, both of you. Like who feels it knows it. Who feels it knows it, like Bob Marley would say. And that healing journey that you spoke about, I want to talk more about that. I want to really unpack that a little bit because my background is social work.
Mm.
And when you go into clinical social work, you have to do your own like therapeutic practice. Like you have to go to therapy. And the whole premise is that you don't want to harm anyone, right? So you want to be able to address your own triggers, your own maladaptive behaviors, your own whatever's, right? So when you say healing journey, the what I understand is that maybe there was a encounter or an incident or an occurrence in your life that changed your life, and from that occurrence there was a process that you went through. Is that what you mean when you say healing journey?
Yes, when I say healing journey, it was when that moment that I discovered that I was falling into patterns, cycles of feeling insecure, of allowing men disrespecting me or me feeling unworthy of what I deserve. So when the moment I stopped and I was curious about why am I allowing this happening? Why is this happening to me? Why do I react like this? Why do I seek so many attentions from my husband? Like what is it? And when I started questioning myself, that's when my healing journey began. Then I went and I started looking for a therapist. And from there, we worked a lot in my inner child and
Mm-hmm.
identifying, being aware of those traumatic experience because sometimes we're not even aware of what's happening to us or what happened to us as well. And then with reading a book that I recommend to everyone, it's called I Am Diosa by Christine Gutierrez. And she is a licensed therapist, Latina therapist from New York City. And she talks a lot about your worth as a woman. And I connected with her so much because she's from New York City, she's Latina. And that healing journey also, you have to really be able to connect with the person. So with the therapist, right? I found a Dominican therapist that understood where I was coming from. I read a book, I Am Diosa, and she was Latina. And I was able to connect with her, with her drinking, addiction and all of that. And that's when I started seeing myself in those people. And that's where I call healing journey because and then when I was curious, I used to find out more, and then I used to be more curious and find out more. And I am still obsessed with myself.
I know that's right.
And then
So
followed
yeah.
by I started this journey and I took on. And then my husband started seeing changes in me and the shift. And then I'm gonna open up for Shannon to share how because it's different. I mean, Shannon from Mount Vernon.
Yeah,
Um,
mine's is a little tough. I'm from the city of Mount Vernon. I graduated from Nelson Mandela, which is an alternative school for your typical bad kids or whatnot. So my upbringing was about who can last the longest.
Mm,
That's what it was about, and it was rooted in dark. It was rooted in negativity, but I held a safe space for that because I was able to be who I needed to be under those conditions.
mm-hmm.
So those conditions eventually started taking over my life, and it kept me in a really bad place. I fell into addiction with alcohol, women, just vices, just all just negative things that I just had
Yeah.
in my head that I thought it was right.
Right.
So when I saw my wife change, I'm like, whoa, this is mind blowing, and I'm like that. Um, and I was eager. I wanted it. I'm like, listen, if she can do it, I can do it.
That's right.
This is what I'm gonna do. We're gonna be a power couple together. So I took my journey. So my wife found me a therapist. I was in denial about where I was mentally, but I suffer from PTSD and some other things down the line that hopefully you have me on again. I could talk about part two of my.
Definitely.
But yeah, and my wife was like, "This is what you need to do." So she set me up with a therapist. It didn't work. It was a rocky wave. It was a lot of turbulence. I didn't like it, so I shot out, and I'm like, you know what? Let me try to find my own. So that was just a way of procrastinating and doing nothing or the things I didn't want to do. So my wife was like, "Why don't you?" She met a lady named Maria that was very close to her, like watched her, her whole life, her upbringing and whatnot. And she was like, Maria knows a guy named Carlos that I think you connect very well with, on a spiritual level and a healing level. And I'm like, man, I'm not connecting with no guy I don't know. You know how men is. We put up we put up our hands, before we take, any advice. So I'm like, all right, whatever. So I go. So she sent me to the jungle for 14 days. I went to Colombia. I went to I flew into Bogota and I stayed in a place called Taramana in Colombia. I
Mm.
mean, jungle. We slept outside in tents, but this was part of the process. So I did
Mm.
something. I underwent something that was called ayahuasca. Ayahuasca is a drug you intake, and it helps you uncover a lot of traumatic issues that you might have had or have in your life. And sometimes it comes to the surface. Sometimes. And I had a good experience there. That was the beginning, and then I started little, therapy sessions here and there with my wife. But what really took me to the level of where I am now is forgive to live. Forgive to live is nothing short of a miracle, and it's holistic. It's one of those approaches where you speak your way out of the darkness, and the darkness is trauma. The darkness is anything that we deal with. The darkness is anything that's negative that we deal with. Sorry. Um, and it forgive to live. It's so rigorous, but it's so loving. So they have the compassion, the love, but they really turn the speed up so that you can connect to your inner self. Because again, we start out as a light, but we have to end as the light. And me and my wife are on a mission of ending as a light. That's what I'm.
I'm blown away, but I'm blown away, honestly. I really am. Um, Before I comment, and Jeannie, I want to get you in there. Did you have anything else that you wanted to add?
No, Shannon said it all, and Forgive to Live has been a platform and experience that we go to Vermont during a weekend, and we take time to unpack all the stuff that is heavy within us. And I will be sharing the link so you guys can look into it. And it has transformed our marriage, our family, and it's just for the best. We need to invest on ourselves, and these type of holistic healing retreats, they're worth 10 years of therapy. So you can go to therapy, and it's a little bit slower, but when you go to one of these holistic retreats, it accelerates the healing journey, and it's worth 10 years of therapy, because what you are able to unpack on a weekend from 5 o'clock in the morning all the way to no ending time, it's magical. And you come back from Vermont so light, feeling so lightweight, that you just come back being the light that you are destined to be, because everyone was born being the light. The thing is that as we grow older, that light dims based on our traumatic experiences that we go through. And if we don't take the time nowadays to unpack all the traumatic experiences and find that light, we will be rooted in the dark. And that's all I have to say. Find your light, because you have it, it's within you. And nobody else can find the light by yourself.
Lastly, Tasha, before my lovely wife leaves,
Yeah.
I want to say that me being from the streets, what Forgive to Live helped me really uncover was to see the humanity in every. We don't. It doesn't matter the way they speak to us, the way they come off to us, their mannerisms, whatnot. None of that, because, like my wife said, and I will reiterate, we were born with the light. Something dimmed it, but we got to connect and reconnect for a true purpose. And Forgive to Live is that purpose.
About so sorry about the technology, but yeah, I'm really excited to hear more about Forgive to Live, and I hope that you guys would definitely help follow up and maybe come back and talk about that. I was so in tune with your talking about, just thinking about how you do things, why you do things in Hinia. When you said as part of your healing journey, you wanted to know like why you did things. Sorry, I'm getting an echo.
Can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Okay.
But when you were talking about, I just put you on for 1 second because I was getting an echo. But when you were talking about um, on your healing journey, you started thinking about why you would do certain things you do, why you might be attracted to certain individuals. That really resonated with me because part of my healing journey was also like kind of thinking about what I'm thinking about. Why are these patterns like repeating in my life? Even if I might want to change them, I can't seem to change them. I'm like in a cycle that I'm just on autopilot. And it wasn't until I started seeking, because even in the Christian tradition, it's like if you seek it, you will find it. I started seeking answers, and I started seeking like individuals. Like when I said there's a vibe thing with you guys that I felt. And I remember going on my healing journey and discovering that self-care is really about getting to know yourself and understanding why you do certain things the way you do them. That resonates with me. That resonates with me. So do either one of you want to speak about that at all?
Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, sorry, I had muted, but you're back. You're back, my dear.
Okay. I am back. Okay, I see myself now. Thank you, Tasha, for, you know, validating what we were saying and connecting also with our share.
Thank you. Wait. I want you back in there, Antonia. Oh God. Hold on. There she is.
Yes.
Well, before that, let's also talk about the undocumented persons and how MAGA people see them.
How much do you think undocumented immigrants pay into the tax system every year?
Zero.
Nothing.
Probably nothing.
Undocumented, I would guess zero. And why would they pay anything?
My guess is nothing.
Since they're undocumented, $0.
$100.
$100. 2022, they paid $96 billion into Social Security and Medicare, just undocumented.
I really don't know what to say about it.
2022, they paid $96 billion into the Social Security Medicare system.
Seems ludicrous that there would be that kind of money coming in.
You are 100% right. Given everything we've heard, it sounds absurd. It sounds insane, just like an alternate reality, right? It runs counter to the entire narrative that we've been getting the past several years.
Who do you? The government?
The undocumented immigrants, they paid into the system. They pay it into the system.
Okay.
So through ITN number.
It's undocumented immigrants?
Undocumented immigrants. They pay Medicare, they pay Social Security. They don't get Social Security.
Right, but they pay into it.
They pay
I
into
see, I
it.
wasn't aware of that.
Yeah.
I wasn't aware of that.
How much do you think undocumented immigrants pay into the tax system every year?
Zero.
Well, before that, what do you guys think about that? Have you heard this sentiment before from anyone? Because I have.
Of course, I have heard of every single phrase that the video showed, and we see it. We see it directly working with immigrant families through Camino al Éxito. We see how hard they work and how they pay taxes at the end of the year.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so you see it with your families. How do they feel, or what have you heard from the families when they hear these talking points being repeated?
What's going on right now, we're getting a lot of families that are very concerned. They are overwhelmed and a lot of emotional distress in the community because they scared, because they don't know what's going on. A lot of the teens are worried, nervous, and it's something that right now what we're doing is educating families. We order over 1,000 red cards to distribute the cards to them so they can know their rights. And we're doing a lot of know your rights workshops so people can know their right. Because if we listen, if we watch the news or, scroll down on TikTok, there's so many misinformation that what we need to do is get the right information like we are doing in Camino al Éxito and providing in collaboration with Neighbors Link and the New York State Immigration Coalition, we are providing valid information to inform and educate people and to lower the nerves and the worries that the families have. Right now we have office hours and we are distributing the red cards that is in Spanish and English. It tells the families their right, their constitutional right, so they can be aware.
Right. Yeah. Anything to say about that, Shannon, before I go back to the video?
Um, no, my wife, she knows a lot about it, but I'm a bit taken aback by that. Like I said, I see the humanity in individuals, and it's just they're helping fund the schools, right? Let's be honest, healthcare, infrastructure.
That's right.
For kids. They paving a way economically, and essentially for Americans, and they're just not being seen or recognized for that, and instead they're being overlooked. So that's my pet peeve, so to speak. But yeah, I am piggybacking with my wife. We are here to support.
Yeah, yeah. I'm going to talk a little bit about the stats. So,
Medicare, they pay.
and 37.3 Undocumented people.
Okay.
So through ITN number.
It's undocumented immigrants?
Undocumented immigrants. They pay Medicare, they pay Social Security. They don't get Social Security.
Right, but they pay into it.
They pay
Ah,
into
see, I
it.
wasn't aware of that.
Yeah. How about that? Were you aware of that? Were you aware that undocumented people in 2022, they paid a total of $96.7 billion in federal, state, and local taxes. This includes 59.4 billion to the federal government. Imagine that. And 37.3 billion to state and local governments. So on average, undocumented immigrants contributed 8,889 per person in taxes annually. Why is this important? Because it's important that we know the facts. So a breakdown of these contributions is 59.4 billion, including 25.7 billion for Social Security and 6.4 billion for Medicare. They cannot access those programs. Undocumented people cannot access those programs, but they pay into those programs. I'm going to repeat. Undocumented people cannot access Social Security and Medicare. We can as citizens, but they pay into it and we benefit. So all of us who are naturalized or citizens born in this country need to understand that we are benefiting from the tax contribution from undocumented people. Let me read on. Let me read on. State and local taxes is 37.3 billion with 46% from sales and excise taxes. All right, let's talk about sales taxes for a second because this is how the narrative is spun by people who want to demonize any group of people. That homeowners are the only ones that pay taxes. Homeowners do pay taxes. But guess what? So do renters. Renters pay taxes. You know how? Through our rent. Do you really think, let's say you're a landlord, do you really think when your taxes go up that you're not going to increase people's rent? Do you really think that? That's not how it works. When taxes go up for property owners and they own multi-dwelling properties, who do you think is going to pay that increase? The renters. The renters pay that increase. So homeowners pay tax, renters pay tax, and we also know sales tax and excise taxes. Everybody pays sales tax. You have a cell phone, how much in fees and taxes? Undocumented people buy cell phones. You want to buy a cup from Home Goods? You want to buy a fork to eat on? There's tax on top of that. Undocumented people pay just as much taxes as everybody else. Let me go back to the stats. Let me go back to the stats. Property taxes, 31%, 10.4 billion because guess what? There are some undocumented people that own property. Come on, guys. Come on. Come on. There are undocumented people that are also landlords. So they're paying property taxes also. What else are they paying? Income taxes. Those that are on work visas, those that are doing different things and they're able to, somehow work here, they are paying income tax. Guess how much? 7 billion. Okay. And this was 2 years ago when we were still kind of semi um, uh, remote. So the impact of work authorization. So if an undocumented immigrant were granted work authorization, let's talk about this. Their tax contributions can increase by 40.2 billion annually, reaching a total of 136.9 billion with a B. With a B. So when you see a sign that says don't no legal benefits for illegals, it's propaganda. It is propaganda. Okay, so when we talk about that intellectual stimulation, intellectual health, make sure we're doing just a little bit of research before we
It seems ludicrous that there would be that kind of money coming in.
You are 100% right. Given every
Okay. So I just wanted to go there a little bit because facts matter. And we know that there's a lot of propaganda because people are trying to find somebody to blame instead of putting the blame where the blame belongs, which is in greed and really a lack of humanity. You know, if we keep this conversation elevated, we should want other people to live and have a quality of life. But when you work an oppressive mindset and a scarcity mindset, then you don't see the abundance that is all around us, and maybe you will hoard resources. So it's the hoarding of resources that's really violent. So I wanted to do those stats because I do want to increase the level of humanity for one another. And oh, I'm getting a call from you, Ingenia. No, okay. Can you guys hear me? Hi, can you hear me? I think something happened. Can you hear me now?
Yes, we can.
Okay, good. Okay. So, yeah. So, anyway, I don't need to talk anymore about that. The stats speak for themselves. People that are in our country, our neighbors, our family members, in some cases, they contribute billions of dollars to the US economy. So, I just recently worked on a campaign to pass the Equal Rights Amendment, and that protects New Yorkers against discrimination based on national origin. And when I was in communities, Upper County, Westchester, and Rockland, and Putnam and Dutchess, and I would see these signs. I don't know if you guys saw them during the last election. No legal, no legal benefits for illegals. Did you guys see those signs?
Yes, I saw it.
It just, you didn't see them. Yeah, they're not worth seeing, but it really upset me, so I had to do that clip to really put those kind of messages in proper perspective, which is they're lying. They're just lying. They're just lying.
In layman's terms, yeah, basically.
They're not telling the truth. And so that's the economic argument, right? But what about just the morality of everything? I personally would say that the northern states and California needed to really talk about the southern states governors that bust so many people into the blue states, overwhelming our resources because then there was not immediate help from the federal government. So I don't know why they were never held accountable. That makes me very upset that Florida and Texas and Georgia governors were never held accountable for what they did. But any thoughts that you guys have on those stats?
Well, I'm going to shift it to the immigrant experience, right?
Thank you. Yeah.
Because I'm an immigrant myself, and I also work with immigrant families, whether undocumented or not, but it's seeing the humanity and the work that these families are doing in our community.
Yeah.
When you see these women's, right now we're serving a yoga class in Spanish, and specifically we're providing a safe space for farmers to come and release tension because these women are cleaning farms up here in Dutchess. Also, these women are cleaning houses. I mean, and I'm not saying 10, 2 or 3 houses. They are cleaning houses. They are working in the back of the restaurant. And they are doing a lot of work. And for their work not to be valued, that's a disrespect. And that's the way I take it, in my opinion. I see this family wanting to improve their life, wanting to educate themselves,
Hmm.
and to accomplish the American dream, like anyone that arrived in this country wants
Right.
to accomplish the American dream. And when we speak about immigrant, I mean, this country was built of immigrants.
Yeah. Yes, yes. The humanity of it all should be front and center. It should be front and center. So let's talk about the work more of the work that you're doing with your families. Tell us, how can we be a part of it? How can we support? Any stories you want to share with us?
Sure. So we have three different departments under Camino al Éxito, which is a youth department where we have two different programs. One is a education counseling program. We have our own private counselor that support the teenagers, underserved teenagers in high school, to make sure they know their options and that they have the resources they need to make the transition from high school to either a trade school or college, whatever they want to do, but to make sure that they break the cycle within their decision after college. We also have a teens club where we create a safe space for teenagers and they learn, right? We have many different workshops from financial literacy, from health, self awareness. And then from there, we also have field trips with the teenagers so they can expand their thinking and they can see beyond what they are living right now as their current situation. Within that, we also do outreach for the teenagers, and that we create assets, we integrate diversity. So for example, here in Poland there's a summer camp, and that summer camp, I didn't see my people in that summer camp, I didn't see diversity in the summer camp. And Camino al Éxito was able to fundraise more than $10,000 to send about 50 children to that summer camp and bring diversity and integration into the Poland summer camp. With the adult population, we have a food distribution with fresh meats and vegetables as well. Every Thursday, we have English classes going on in the community. We have a yoga class in Spanish, and we have informational workshops every month, bringing information to people. We want to educate people. Alongside from that, we have a legal services department where we just got contract through Granny's First Response to make sure we are giving consultation to immigrant families and also that they know their qualifications, because there are many programs out there that they qualify for. But if they don't know, how can they apply? So we are giving free legal consultations in collaboration with Neighbors Link. And also, we are going to fundraise in 2025 to reach more people when it comes to legal services, because we have within our teens club, we have teenagers that need legal representation. And to in order for them to apply for the juvenile visa that they qualify for or asylum that they qualify for. But people don't know this information. And what we want is educate, and if you qualify for it, help you apply for it. And right now, my husband and I, we are putting up flyers all around the community about the different workshops, about the legal consultations, because we, as minority leaders, we need to stay together and educate together. So, like that, we can be the light in others' darkness, right?
Yeah.
That's where we are right now. You can find us on Instagram, Camino al Éxito PFA. You can also find our website and join our mailing list through our website. And if you want to give a workshop to the teenagers, and these are workshops that the teenagers are not hearing in school, in the school district, by the way. These are topics that our teens they need to know about. Entrepreneurship, financial literacy, right? And our teenagers they need to look for people that look like them, right? We make sure that our presenters look like us. So
Yeah.
the teenagers can make that connection. We also do a mentorship program for a lot of the teens that are learning English to have an opportunity for them to practice English once a week with a less chat program that we have. So make sure you follow us and you search for us because we are making a huge impact in the community with Camino al Éxito.
Excellent, excellent work. And thank you for like keeping humanity first, there are different audiences, and I just love everything about you guys. I love the freedom to live. I love, how you communicate, and I love that there are those of us that are purposed with spreading light. There are those of us that are purposed with, keeping humanity first. And I just love that. I can't speak about that enough, because as I'm going through my own healing journey and my own maybe dark night of the soul, which I'm past, thank God, but that was a difficult time. But just going through dealing with aspects of my own past and my own present that I don't like, I don't like. And in that isolation period, it can feel like there's not other like-minded people, or there's not other people that's going through this. So to find community, I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful.
Are you there?
Yes, can you hear me? So we might have lost our guest for a moment. I know. Okay, Shannon, can you hear me?
Now we
Yes,
can
I
hear you.
can.
I
Yes.
just did a reboot just to make sure we're all back going and everything. So
Yeah.
we'll wait for Ingenia. Now, I do have another video as we're coming to a close. This hits a little bit more personal. So I'm going to play this video from an influencer that was answering another influencer, and it goes along with the whole need to be unified theme. Um, that all people who love humanity really need to be unified. But especially in the communities that are Black, communities that are Spanish speaking, we need to find ourselves staying together. So, and Gina, you're back.
I
Can you?
am. I am.
Okay. So, just in that theme with, being unified and highlighting humanity, I want to show another clip, if I can find it, if I can get it pulled up. And if not, we will just leave a link. And we want to encourage people to support the work that you're doing, because not only are you providing the legal services and other resources that are so needed, and you're right, people don't know. This is a country of law and order. That's what they love to espouse. So it is our responsibility to understand how to make those laws work for us, and how to understand how to advocate for ourselves. So even if we could get back on and talk about the know your rights work, I would love to do that. I would love to amplify that kind of work that you guys are doing. Um, and what do they look like? Are they in person classes, or what do
They
those?
are both. They are in person. We do them at.
Supremacists work for them. This comment is very.
Oops.
Sorry.
No, so our informational workshops, they happen at the library. So we have them at the Library of Pauling and also in Dover and Windell area. So we collaborate with the library because we cannot forget about the library being an
Great
essential
resource.
great resource in the community. So why not integrate resources and create access to resources right in the library?
Absolutely, absolutely. Yeah, I would love to get with you guys to be able to do a know your rights info session, and we
That's
can do it
great.
virtually.
Yes, we can do virtual. Right now, we are doing them virtual, so I can put you connected with our coordinator and we can set something up, right? We have to inform people. It's our
Excellent.
responsibility. Now that we know the information, we have the abilities to get the information. We have the responsibility to pass the information.
Absolutely. And you work with Neighbors Link. I've also worked with Neighbors Link. I love Corolla. She's amazing.
Yes, we are working with them within the legal services department.
Hmm. They're doing great work. They're way up there now. They're way up in the Hudson Valley. Excellent work. I know
Yes,
her from
we
Westchester.
Neighbors Link is actually one of our um, vision, right? We are like a mini Neighbors Link in Dutchess County with
Yes, you are.
the vision of expanding and providing resources to the entire Hudson Valley area.
Ugh, love it. So I'm gonna play this other clip. We'll watch it together, and then I'll get your thoughts on the other side.
Supremacists work for them. This comment is very important, so I need y'all to read this. When the chips are down, you Latinos forget the support from the black folks. And I cannot agree with this creator more. The Latino community and its anti-blackness is strong and it needs to be expelled from our community. We hate black people within our own communities where Latinos, and I'm talking to Dominicans right now, my people would say, oh no, I'm not black, I'm black white, or I'm Latino black. Whatever excuse to remove themselves from being African American, US black. The anti blackness, the colorism in our community is so fucking toxic that is how white supremacists were able to split us up against each other, Latino against Latino, and also Latino against black Americans. And now we're seeing birthright citizenship being taken away, the 1965 Civil Rights Act being attacked. And what a lot of Latinos don't know is that the 1965 Civil Rights Act was also what gave a lot of immigrants like your parents the ability to actually become U.S. citizens. So birthright citizenship, a pathway to a status, was established, was given to us by the hard work of the black community. And when we were beneficiaries of all that great work that they did, what did the Latino community do? Spit in their face by voting for Trump, and now all that hard work is being wiped away. And that's right, Latinos did forget all of the support that black people gave us and helped us get to a place where our great grandparents and our parents and then the children born today were able to be part of this country. And that's why I'm trying to work harder than ever to do two things. One, expel the anti-blackness in our community because, like I said before, we are black. And also trying to do my best to rebuild between Latinos and black Americans. Is it going to be easy? Hell no. Is there a lot of work to do on our part? Hell yes. But like I've said 1,000 times before, we are stronger together and we need to stop doing the white supremacist work for them. This comment is very...
Okay. Okay. This is part of the light work. This is
Yes.
this is part of the light work. For me, I have a girlfriend. She's Dominicana, and I just maybe 10 years ago learned about the Dominican Republic, the black presence in the Dominican Republic. She's a black woman. She says, "Well, when I walk into the room before I speak and before anyone knows my name, they see a black woman." And I was, I guess, an ignorant American. When I thought of Latinas, I thought of white or white passing Latinas. I had no concept in my mind, and a lot of Black Americans are now maybe realizing it, but growing up maybe did not have a concept of Blackness outside of maybe Jamaica, definitely I mean, of course, Africa, but not in the the Spanish speaking community. So I am making a confession as a Black American that I'm just learning about the global Black presence in Latin America. And I'm so glad about it. And I'm so glad to know that we're trying to stay together because like, people want to be together. But when we go into systems that rank people based on skin or hair or language, that's when people get distracted and caught up. That's when they turn away from the light. That's when they turn away from the light. So we got to stay together as a people. Shannon, I think you both are muted.
Oh,
I am muted. I hear you though.
so thank you so much for sharing this video. And with that, I was able to connect, and Shannon and I have an experience that is connected to the video. So I am Dominican, and yes, Dominicans, we do have this belief of, oh, I'm not black. And that's something that we are working really hard within the Latino community to educate and identify ourselves as African American, because I put on every application, like, what's your race? African. That's my race. And then also within the community, even this month, that is Black History Month, as a bilingual teacher in my school, we celebrate Black History Month. And we also focus on the Latina, Afro Latina. And we identify who are those Afro Latina in the community. And we celebrate them as well. So right now within the education system, we are able to see a shift that in those bilingual schools, and I can speak about my bilingual school, which is in Mount Kisco, where I teach, we focus on Afro Latinas as well during Black History Months and during Black History Month. And one thing that Shannon has an experience as we first started dating with my stepdad. He owns a grocery store in Rochelle by the projects, and his perception of black is just within a box. So when I introduced Shannon as my boyfriend, he didn't want to hear anything about it. Oh, he's black. Oh, he's black. And Shannon was able to change that perspective that they have, right? It's all about, it all comes from darkness and judgment. Like when you judge, that's right there, you're already in the dark. And when we see one person doing something and then we generalize,
Mhm.
that's where it comes from.
Mhm.
And that's what happened with Shannon and I experience. And Shannon, speak a little bit about you as an African American male, how you, when you were introduced to my family, how you felt. Are you there?
Oh, I think he might have froze. We're having like some tech stuff going on.
Mm.
Maybe he's coming in now. Let's
Yeah.
see.
So when he comes in,
Do you guys hear
you
me?
know,
Oh, we can hear you
oh, he's
now.
here.
Could you see me?
No.
No. I can't hear my wife. I sent you
Oh
a
boy.
text. I sent you a text in the box, but I know you didn't read it. But yeah, I can hear her in the other room, but I can't, and it's very faint. I can't really hear her as much.
Oh boy. Indinia, can you say something? We could see if we could hear you better.
I can hear both of you guys. Well, I can hear you, but I cannot hear him or see him.
Do you hear me now? Do you hear me now?
No, I hear you over the room. Yeah.
All right, well, that's fine.
But
I
it's
mean,
fine.
yeah.
You heard
So
what I
do
said
you want to
about.
ask me a question? You said.
Yes. Ingenia had asked about your perspective of the experience being a Black American with a Dominican in laws and Dominican wife. Oh, we see you now.
You hear me now? Okay. So my wife was talking, I couldn't really hear her, and I know you guys were, engaging in some serious intellect. So, but I wanted to say before we went on about the percentage, about the statistics and the status and the 96 billion and the 7 billion. I just want to say that, you know, I just want to say that, you can hear me?
No, I can hear you. It's just a camera.
You hear me now? All right. You hear me now? Okay. Yes. So, with the yes, yes. So the number proves itself, right? We already know immigrants families are hardworking, resilient, and essential to the fabric of this country. That's just point blank period. So I just want to end there, put that down. So as far as the situation with my in-laws, it was tough. But it's Dominicans, Americans, whatever. It's complex. It's shaped by history, culture, and just social interaction. The colorism, the tension, it's already something that was a learned behavior. So they already knew that within themselves, that the arrogance, it's not them. Here we go. We're going to talk about the humanity in people. It's the stuff that they learned, the repetitive learning experience, right? Like I tell my wife about intelligence proximity, right? To be in intelligent
Yep.
proximity, to be in a proximity where you people know you and love you for who you are, no matter what. I conformed my in-laws to speak that way and see that way. My friends come in and out their doors. My friends go and eat with them now. This wasn't a norm. My wife, this wasn't a norm, and I broke that barrier. I broke that stigma of of uh of of African Americans, who what they thought of us, and now we're just one big happy family, and I love it. But I don't for once hold them accountable for the dark that was brought into their lives, because that's trauma, and it's just like I said, it's complex and it's shaped by history. Thank you. Clear.
Calling it what it is, that's just trauma. Not that's just an ism, or that's just, whatever we could say that, would kind of reduce our own humanity, right? So by elevating it and be like, no, that's trauma. That's straight up trauma. I'm not even going to put that on a person, because we can grow from our trauma. We don't have to be just, there's PTSD, we're all familiar with that, but there's also post traumatic growth. And I think what you just exhibited is the growth that your family, your wife's family that you married into, has experienced through interacting with your light, both of your light, right? Because that could go a whole different way. That could go, well, we're not even gonna deal with them, which
Right.
some families do, right? Some families can't even get together because they
Right.
don't deal with each other.
Write you right off. Yep.
Cut you right off. So
What
that's
you
dark. That's the darkness.
do? The
I just
darkness.
love how you guys are.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
That's just that trauma.
That's that trauma. That's just what it is. It's the stigma line. That's what I call it. The stigma line. It just follows you. It's like a snake. It's like they put a hook on your back and you just running with it. It's like a kite. It just follows you. But until you turn around and grab that and look it in the face and say, I'm not supposed to be the person you're following. I'm just a human. And then you bring that light into them. And like I had to really fight to bring that light into them. But then when my wife brought the light, I brought the light. Now we're just fluff. We're just fluff. It's an amazing. So to say the least, it is possible. It's possible to see the unity, to unify each other, and to understand, like the gentleman said in the clip, that we are not your enemies. We're embracing humanity. Us, black, brown, we are embracing humanity. And if we do that as a whole, then we're endless. We can go to the moon and back.
This was the best conversation. And Jenny, I want to get you in there. Any final thoughts? How can we support you? I think I put in the chat your organization on Instagram. So like just tell us, what can we do? How can we support you?
You can definitely, we have opportunities for volunteer. Also we have, like I said, a few fundraising events throughout the year. One is going to be through Hudson Valley Gives. I'm not sure if anyone heard of it, which is a platform where all the nonprofit from the Hudson Valley area, they have a profile. And if you look us up there, we're going to be there. Follow up on Instagram, because Instagram is going to be where you stay connected with us, and you're going to see the impact that we are creating every day in the families, in where their situation. So make sure you follow us, Camino al Éxito PFA, to stay connected, know when we're doing our fundraise, and you can always go onto our website and click the donate button as well.
And in the near future, we will be shifting to Westchester as well, where the dream really sparked at. But we live here, so we will be coming there soon. So keep your lens open, keep them clear. We'll be there soon.
And I would like to add, to finalize as well, is that being in the nonprofit sector as minorities, leaders, CEOs, founders, we need to stay together and learn together, because when we go to different conferences or different networking events and you say you're the founder of a nonprofit, they look at you like, are you serious? And we're like, yes, we are. So when we look at all these nonprofits as well, when you go all the way and see the administrative leadership roles, you don't see that many minorities, right? So we need to stay together. We need to be leaders together. That belief that we cannot be leaders, we need to undo it, because we have the skill, we can learn the skills that we need to be leaders and represent our community. And one of the best thing of Camino al Éxito is why people connect with Camino al Éxito, because they see themselves in us. And others, huge nonprofits, they're reaching out to us, that what is it that we're doing, that we're having all this, our numbers, the workshops are packed, the teenagers are following us, over 50 teenagers we have. What is it that we're doing? And what I can say, the secret is that the connection of them seeing themselves within us. That's the secret. So we need more Black, Latinos leaders learning the sector of nonprofit and doing mission work. This is mission work. And for the teenagers to see themselves in us. So for anybody that has any questions, we are always open to even guide them as to how we started the nonprofit and where and how we got here. So thank you so much, Tasha, for having us.
I just want to thank you both. I mean, your work it goes without saying. I hope we can talk more about the Know Your Rights, and we can make that available to, more people. We are, I am just honored to have this conversation. I support your business. I support your mission. I support the light. And thank you for coming on from the bottom of my heart. And I hope we can definitely continue to work together. Um, I am in the middle of doing a business transformation series, and we're helping people stay ahead of what's going on in our federal government. We will have representatives from the IRS talk about how we can conduct ourselves in this current environment, the filings, how to do it as an individual, how to do it as a business. We just really want to help our community and business owners have access to the resources that they need. And certainly, we need to know what's going on with the IRS. So this will be taking place this Wednesday at Double Door Event Space that's in Mount Vernon. And we will put links for people to be able to follow us there. We also want to say in today's shifting business landscape, uncertainty isn't just a feeling, it's a daily reality. We want to make sure that people understand not only the regulations, but the guidelines that are changing and getting clear answers when we can provide them for us. So we want people to join us. You all are welcome. It is in person, but we will be hopefully recording it. And we're also going to talk about credit repair, do it yourself credit repair with Experian and Equifax, both being sued by the former, hopefully it will stay, Consumer Financial Bureau of the federal government. They are giving settlement claims to those who have had data breaches, to those who have been victims of predatory lending practices, harassment. So we're going to talk about that this Wednesday. Do for yourself credit repair, the Experian settlement, tax regulations, and the changes that we can see coming from this current administration. And then next week we'll have another topic. But I hope people can join us this week, February 19th, when we'll have the professional from the IRS there. And we're going to have her for 2 more weeks. So it is a series, and I just want everybody to be able to participate and have the resources they need to be successful. So any final words before we say good night?
Yeah, I want to say that. I want to say that. Excuse me. Unity is strength, right? When we recognize each other's humanity, we can break barriers and build a better future. So together we can do that. That's my final words. Thank you, Tasha. It's been a pleasure. I really, really admire you. Thank you for having us. I hope we were able to touch some people and touch the world. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Tasha. Thank you so much. And one final phrase: do the work. You
Do the
need
work.
to do the work in order to be the light for others.
Absolutely. Oh, thank you so much. Thank you. Good night, everyone.
Don't miss Damon K. Jones's revolutionary approach to total wellness. His complete wellness collection, 4 transformative books that have changed thousands of lives. Drawing from years of expertise, Damon guides you through emotional eating, clean living, and the proven 6 pillars of lasting health. Experience his 28-day challenge, which helps people nationwide discover their best selves. Or his groundbreaking book, The Empowering Benefits of Detoxing, Cleansing, and Eating Clean, will help you re-energize and refocus on your health, wellness, and mental clarity. Join the wellness revolution. Get this life-changing collection for only $65. Go to DamonKJones.com for this special offer, and let's make health and wellness the new black. From the streets of the 914 to the pinnacle of journalism, A.J. Woodson's journey is legendary. As a founding member of hip-hop legendary group JVC Force, he lived hip-hop. Now, as editor-in-chief of Black Westchester magazine, experience his groundbreaking trilogy, We Got Our Own Thing, the untold story of hip-hop from Westchester County. Black Westchester celebrates Black women. Black Westchester, the origin story, the raw, unfiltered memoir of how faith and determination created a voice for the voiceless. 3 books, one incredible journey. From hip-hop pioneer to community voice, A.J. Woodson's stories need to be on your shelf. All books available on Amazon or contact Black Westchester magazine for your copy.
The best you will find. Living in CI, who the hell am I? AJ Rock the juice, I get.
This new year, Black Westchester and Vita Health Nutrition are joining forces to revolutionize your wellness journey. 2025 isn't just another year. It's your year to thrive. We're making health and wellness the new black, and everyone's invited to join the movement. Vita Health Nutrition's premium collection features powerful immune support supplements, natural energy boosters, advanced nutritional formulas, wellness essentials for the whole family. New Year special offer, get an exclusive 30% off all Vita Health products. Use code BW30, join the movement. Visit blackwestchester.com for community updates. Shop vitahealthnutrition.us. Follow both brands on social media for daily inspiration. Let's make 2025 our healthiest year yet. Black Westchester and Vita Health Nutrition, empowering our community, one healthy choice at a time. Remember, your health is your wealth. Start 2025 strong with Vita Health Nutrition and Black Westchester.